Good evening and welcome to our English News Edition. Presidency, the head of the state receives promoters from industrial mega projects in Djibouti. Anglais region news, Senegal declare opens the fourth forum on peace and security in Africa. Good evening. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, received today, late Wednesday morning, at the Presidential Palace, Mr. Dunan, Director General of the Industry Investment Holding Company, a specialized Chinese company in the field of salt exploitation. During this hearing, President Gele and his host discussed together the prospects of possible collaboration between the country and this Chinese company, particularly in terms of extraction, processing and marketing of Djiboutian salt from Lake Assala. The realization of significant financial gains through the exploitation of salt becomes all the more plausible for our country, which has recently had a mineral poured in the locality of Gwet. The Industry Investment Holding Company is rapidly planning to set up a salt extraction plant in Lake Assala. Chinese private developer told reporters about talks with the head of state also wants to partner with Djibouti in the export of these commodities, also said. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, received also today, late Wednesday morning, at the Presidential Palace, Mr. Yu Badong, President and CEO of the famous Chinese company PolyCGL, mandated to carry out a mega project in the Djiboutian locality of Demerjok. Now in the execution phase, the mega project linking Djibouti and PolyCGL is composed of three components. The first component concerns the construction of pipelines intended to deliver natural gas from Ethiopian region of Ogaden to Djibouti, specifically into the town of Demerjok. The second part of this mega project concerns the construction, still in Demerjok, of a refinery transforming raw gas into a finished product, and that the third part focuses on the construction of a power station responsible interiorly for providing sustainable energy to the future refinery. The audience between President Gele and the CEO of the company PolyGCL was used to discuss together the final implementation plans and deadlines for the completion of all work suspended for realization of this mega project. The minister talked about the many economic benefits. The Minister of Energy also said that this project will countries such as the important job creation process that will have. As for the Minister of Investment, discussions were also able to highlight about how the realization of this mega project will connect our country through the acquisition of an additional power plant with a highly attractive framework for large private investments. Under the auspices of the Ministry of Energy in charge of natural resources, in close collaboration with the Chinese company PolyGCL, an important ceremony of signing a commercial memorandum of understanding of the mega gas project between the government of Djibouti and the PolyGCL took place this Wednesday at Djibouti Palace, Kempinski. This signing marks the passing of a historic step in the progress of negotiations between the government of Djibouti and the company PolyGCL. And this is the mega gas project that includes a natural gas pipeline, a liquefaction plant, and an export terminal that will be located in Demerjok in the Arta region. This ceremony saw the participation of the Energy Minister Yohannes Aligedi, the President of the Chinese company PolyGCL, and his close collaborators, the senior executives of the Department of Energy as well. The advisor of the President of the Republic, the State Inspector, the Ambassador of Ethiopia, Djibouti, several guests. For NEOMFITS, the mega gas project includes a natural gas pipeline, a liquefaction plant, and export terminal that will be located in Demerjok in Arta region, and the completion of the project will also only allow the Ethiopian neighbor to export gas to China and other countries, but also to support socio-economic development in the country. The new pipeline, about 700 kilometers long, will transport up to 12 billion cubic meters of natural gas a year from Ethiopia to Djibouti. The liquefaction plant will have the capacity to produce up to 10 million tons per year of liquefied natural gas. Both parties have reached an agreement in principle whereby they could benefit equitably. And in his speech, the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Yohannes Aligedi, was pleased with the signing of this memorandum of understanding government of Djibouti and the Chinese company to launch the work of this mega project. He thanked the Chinese government for its constant support for the socio-economic development of the Republic of Djibouti. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Mergele, delivered today on Wednesday a vibrant tribute to the memory of the late Aden Shiri Roble, an entrepreneur and notable Djibouti deceased today even in the country. In his tribute, President Gele described the late Djibouti notable as a good, fair and kind man who had always enjoyed a good reputation in our community. A tireless worker, he was able to give successive generations of Djiboutians a taste for entrepreneurship, in which he was very successful, particularly in the maintenance and upkeep of air conditioning products. He said, may God welcome his notable to his eternal paradise, and finally welcome President Gele, expressing his sad condolences to his family and the friends, but also the head of state, important family. The late Aden Shiri Roble leaves behind him a wife and many children. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Under the chairmanship of Mr. Muhammad Ali Ahmad, the first session of the second ordinary session of the year 2017 of the National Assembly was held this Wednesday in the headquarters of the Parliament, and this meeting, which was attended by Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, ministers and all parliamentarians, had for agenda the examination of 3 projects, namely Draft Law number 196 establishing the Djiboutian Tobacco Board and fixing its attribution. The Djiboutian Tobacco Board will be responsible for organizing in a planned manner the import, export, manufacture and distribution of tobacco products throughout the national territory of Djibouti. In addition, the Djiboutian Tobacco Board will be responsible for imposing prohibitions on the marketing of non-compliant products on all manufacturers and importers. It will be empowered to issue the license to market tobacco on the national territory and to natural as well legal persons, for legal persons. And as well as the draft budget number 197 of the 70th L on the final settlement of the state budget for the year 2016 financial year, and draft finance law number 205 ratification of the sale for the year 2017 fiscal year. The Prime Minister talked about the importance of these projects, and this structure will also be responsible for ensuring the respect of health warnings affixed to the packaging units and outer packaging of the various products. The Finance Minister in charge of the industry this morning gathered the directors and CEO of the banks in his cabinet. On the agenda was the establishment of a national plan for the development of entrepreneurship, including the creation of an incubation center to introduce young people and promote the emergence of an economy entrepreneurial. The minister stressed that the Djiboutian government has mobilized the necessary resources to support the financing of youth projects. In return, the banks must support and agree to facilitate as well as to give young people the necessary funds for their projects to emerge. This incubation center will support the project leaders of micro, small and medium enterprises. It will provide support in terms of hosting, consulting in entrepreneurship, management, technology, research funding, business design until it matures. And this will help young Djiboutians to become familiar with the different stages of business creation and the entire ecosystem of the world of entrepreneurship. Being present at this meeting, the heads of the Djiboutian banks and the responsible directors of the Ministry of Finance. Communication is an essential access for the success of this decentralization process. Also, the delegation ministry in charge of decentralization took the innovative initiative to organize a workshop for the elaboration of a lexicon of the terms of decentralization in the 2 main national languages, Afar and Somali, which took part this morning at the Institute Political Studies. In addition to the heads of this department, representative of the national media, sectoral ministers, the Sierra Language Institute, the Somali and Afar pen clubs, and civil society, as well as teachers from the university took part of it. The opening ceremony of this important workshop was initiative is to welcome and was chaired by the Minister Delegate in charge of this, Mohammed Aramis, in the presence of his communication colleague in charge of Postal and Telecommunication, Abdi Yusuf Suge. The Minister of Communication said that these elections will constitute a tool of communication, information and training to make known the notion of decentralization, local governance and local development, populist challenges and achievements in this area, to make known the rights and obligations of each actor in the implementation of decentralization process, and finally to as well the interests of citizens and civil society organizations, private sector, political actors, local and regional authorities, and as well national level. For the Minister of Hamidou Mohamed Aramis has focused on the importance of the development of lexics and concept on decentralization to extend the technical links of decentralization and to improve essential communication for the success of the decentralization process. The Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Adam, received this morning at the General Staff of the National Gendarmerie Major General Adams, Deputy Commander of the National Guard of Kentucky. Commander Major General Adams was welcomed with all the honors due to his rank and with a troop of honor. This visit of this authority follows a visit of the U.S. General to the High Commander of National Gendarmerie 6 months ago, during which a partnership agreement was established between the two forces. After a face-to-face interview in which General Adams did not fail to stress the importance of the promising partnership between the Kentucky National Guard and the Djibouti Gendarmerie, he then signed the Golden Gendarmerie's guest book. At the end, the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie offered the General and his delegation a breakfast. And that's all for tonight's news. Thank you for joining us on RTD and have a good night.